A working class organization called the Young Patriots in uptown Chicago. The Young Patriots would wear the Confederate flag as part of their symbolism, and you can see Black Panther Bob Lee photographed here standing next to a young patriot with the Confederate flag on their beret. Nowadays, you'd have the liberal left cancel your organization for working with another organization that proudly boasts the Southern flag so flagrantly. So, why did the Panthers work with the YPO? And why did the Young Patriots work with the Panthers? We're going to answer those questions today on this live episode of You Should Be Aware with your host, me, Jonathan Mayorca. Let's go. All right, so we should be live. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Jonathan Mayorca. I am here, part of the Convo Couch, part of True Rebel Network. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button and share everywhere you can, because this is some awesome footage you're about to see. If you can head down to the description, if you're on Convo Couch, go on to True Rebel Network, youtube.com/True Rebel Network. Will take you right to the YouTube, to the chat I will be paying attention to. So today, we have a special treat. I recently uncovered some new footage that I've never seen before, and let me tell you that this footage is really empowering, man. It's really empowering. So we're gonna answer those questions I asked in the beginning of this video. Those questions. And I will commentate every now and then. We're going to watch this footage that I uncovered. It's from the Chicago Film Archives, and I really need y'all to listen. I added subtitles to the video because, it's kind of hard to understand the language back then. So it'll be easier for y'all. So here we go. First off, I'm going to show the fair use here. Fair Use Act disclaimer. So it's just a fair use. I'm going to be using it for criticism, commentary, news reporting, and research, education, and teaching. I'm hoping to teach something here. So let's go ahead and let's start this up, and let's begin. So I'm going to give you all some context here of this video, and that is that this is like a first-time meeting that Black Panther Bob Lee, he was a section leader of the Black Panthers. He's having, this is the first time meeting that he's having with the Young Patriots Organization, and it's and the Young Patriots are kind of having a meeting with the poor families in Uptown in their community, the poor white families in Uptown and their community in Chicago. So this is how it starts, and then it progresses on from there, and I will let you know. So let's see how Bob approaches the situation.
Those guys were incredible when they start moving people out, their homes. It's, they would move them into some other place, and they were saying, like, where they move into. They probably move them out of Chicago or in some other community.
I'm from Missouri.
This is poor people's power. And that's what this little hand-painted button's all about that we've been passing around to people. People that want to take over and have a government for themselves, that they'll be treated right. That's what it's all about. I want to introduce a man that come over tonight from another part of town, but he's fighting for some of the same causes we're fighting for, and start the meeting off. So I'm going to introduce you to Bob Lee here and let him rap a little while. Bob.
I'm a Black Panther. I'm a section leader of the Black Panther. This is Parza. He's a security man. This is Sister Ruby. We met with Junebug and his brothers last Wednesday night, last week, at the Church of Three Crosses, where we both had a chance to rally, get together. Panthers are here. Panthers are here. for uptown.
Okay.
For anyone who lives in uptown, whether it's brown, green, yellow, purple, or pink. But I'm saying Panthers are here, and you have to tell us what we can do and what we can do together. We come here with our hearts open, you cats to supervise us, where we can be of help to you.
One thing we're going to have to do is put our heads together and figure out.
So this is kind of interesting, right? Just kind of get started here. The way Bob Lee, kind of approaches the Young Patriots Organization, for the first time ever, he comes from a position to offer assistance, which was, it's an interesting tactic, or a bridge building tactic. So let's continue.
Where we can help uptown, help the people in uptown.
Right.
And the thing is that I want everybody who's got any questions at all to speak them up and say them now.
Who's here as concerned people? Who's here that want to see this thing move?
Yeah, man.
Right on. Well, the first thing we talk about now is how we're going to organize. Where we're going to organize. We almost right now, man, figure out like what we want. What do we want? What do you want? What do you want, man? What do you want in your community? What do you want here?
Look here, man.
Don't lay back on the cuts, man. And we're not moving, man. Are you afraid of you want to take the berets off, man, or what, man?
You propose to.
So you see, there's kind of like a hesitancy there at first when he's talking to this community. Do you want us to take the berets off or something, man? That's what he said. I mean, he said that. I mean, it's really interesting. So you're seeing this hesitancy that this Young Patriot Organization community, the poor white families in uptown Chicago, getting started with Bob Lee here. And, he wasn't getting much feedback. And I want y'all to pay attention to how he enters the audience. It really gets down and personal with them. He can tell, they're not really feeling him right now. So let's keep watching.
Yeah, do a lot of marching and things like
No,
that.
sir. No, sir.
It seems like marches seems to do more harm than do good.
No, sir. No marching. No, sir. The thing we're about is that this is your community. This is your community. Let's move. And we can't move without you. We can't move. We can't move without the people.
Like on the west side and south side, you have a basic unity to start with.
You got to pull the skin color.
Right.
Okay, but the thing we got to deal with is concept of poverty, man. We got to reach the color thing. See, concept of the same thing. There's welfare up here, people on welfare up here. There's people that receive ADC. Right. There's police brutality up here. There's rats and roaches. There's poverty up here. That's the first thing that we can unite on. That's the common thing we have, man. And we can unite on poverty and unite on the concept of poverty. Everything becomes colors, man.
Right on.
The building's not fit for dogs to live in, but humans having to pay $144 a month for the thing. They sell the building, to new ownership. What we need is understanding among the people.
Right on.
Coalition between the people to stick together.
Right on.
And take them owners and put them over here in the lake somewhere.
Right on. Right on.
So you see, that's where it got juicy, man. He started talking about poverty. He started talking about economics. He started talking about class there. He said at one point, y'all are on, welfare. There's welfare up here. There's welfare up here. He talked about ADC. Let me show y'all real quick what ADC is. So ADC was Aid to Families with Dependent Children. So they changed it to that name. So the program was created under the name ADC by Social Security Act 1935 as part of the New Deal. It was created as a means test entitlement which subsidized the income of families where fathers were deceased, absent, or unable to work. It provided direct payment of $18 per month for one child. This is back in the 1935s. The federal government required contributions from individual states. ADC was primarily created for white single mothers who were expected not to work. Black mothers who had always been in the labor force were not considered eligible to receive benefits. In 1961, there was a change in the law to extend benefits to families where the father was unemployed. a measure which 25 states adopted. And then the civil rights movement and the efforts of the National Welfare Rights Organization in the 1960s expanded the scope of welfare entitlements to include black women. So, starting in 1962, the Department of Health and Human Services allowed state-specific exemptions as long as the change was in the spirit of the AFDC in order to allow some experimentation. In 1967, the federal government began requiring states to establish the paternity of children eligible for the program and extended benefits to unemployed male parents with work history. So just a little background. There was kind of basically it's welfare, unemployment checks, but to dependent children, I guess you could call it. So going back to the video, let's keep watching. It's what do you think of it so far? Let me know in the chats.
This man right here, the things he said, these are the things we can start working on. We can start working on those very things. Getting rid of the Urban Progress Center. If the cats don't get themselves together. Get rid of these little junky employment agencies. The cats don't. I mean, these are things you can start working from, man. These are things you can start working from. Ladies, stand up and tell us some of the hell you've been going through. Something.
Show my granddaughter, Marcella. She wants to be free.
Stand up.
Tell them what they're doing to Eddie out there. When we come out and how they talk to your mother and how they jumped on us down. Come on, don't be bashful. I talk too much. You all got to talk. Now's the time to talk.
You don't want your kid to be raised up the jive you're coming through now. You don't want to.
Let him tell.
People got to do something. You can't have only one or two leaders.
Please, stand up. Just stand up.
Got to have the people doing something.
Can you do it?
Come on.
So I see how he empowered that community. At the beginning of this video, they were not, feeling Bob Lee there for a second. He was asking them, should I take the berets off? Now he's empowered this community. He's given a voice to the people. Maybe there's some things that people can learn from watching historical videos like this, where this is really interesting, man, how he's able to bridge that gap between these communities. Bob Lee, man, he's great, and it's just crazy. And, for me, this empowerment of the community, it's amazing. And you see how Bob's like in there. He's in their personal space, right nowadays with how COVID is and everything, 6 feet apart, masks on. You can't see facial expressions. You can't be near one another. They don't want this shit to happen. They don't want it to happen. They don't want it to happen again. They want you masked up and 6 feet apart. And it's all part of a divide and conquer technique is what I see. This is my analysis here. I'm seeing to the extreme, so beautiful shit like this can't happen. So he gave this woman her voice.
My sister-in-law, she came out and said that the cops were out there fritzing my brother, and we went out there, and there was one of them cops were sticking a knife in my brother's behind, just sickening. I went up and I asked him what he was doing. He says, it's none of your business. He told me to get out of there. Asked me who I was, and I said I was his sister. And he told me to get the hell out of there.
Oh, she was cussing the cops out like that. She's been getting all.
So you see, empowering the community and telling them to tell their story, giving them a voice, and you can see that they have problems with the police, at least back then. This was in 1968, uptown Chicago, where this happened, where they were being mistreated as well. They were being called hillbillies because they came up from the South. There was a huge migration from the South up to the northern states, and so there was a large community of Southern migrants. From someone said in the beginning Missouri or Mississippi, also places like North Carolina and stuff like that. So let's keep watching, and this is great, isn't it great?
Call up the police when nothing's going on, and the police are going to come make it happen. They try to put your words in your mouth, make you put yourself in jail.
But I want you people to stick together, and I'll stick with Black Panthers, they'll stick with me, and I know they will.
We're going to do it our own way, and that's all there is to it.
Right on, your own way.
I saw a Black Panthers movie last week. Their points are real good, man. You got to pick up your gun, that's all.
Right on. Oh, I'm tired of it.
You know, interesting point there. So I wish I could see these Black Panther movies. I got to do more research to see if I can find these Black Panther movies that apparently they were airing in movie theaters. But right there he says, like, yeah, man, you just got to pick up your gun. So a lot of leftists aren't really pro-Second Amendment. But I mean, if you look at history, man, they got rid of the right to open carry, you know. So there's a lot more of history here, and there's a lot more to discuss. Let's keep going.
Tired of him coming down the street and kicking my damn head in for him. Nothing I ain't done. Bobby Hutton gave his life, man. The cat was 18 years old. He gave his life. And from that day on, Panthers moved up for the black community are concerned from that day on.
Bobby Hutton. He said Bobby Hutton gave his life, so I just kind of wanted to do I did some research on that. You know, we got to show the history. This history is important, you know. Bobby Hutton. So I looked up Bobby Hutton here on DuckDuckGo. Do not use Google. Bobby Hutton. Robert James Hutton, also known as Lil Bobby, was a treasurer and first recruit to join the Black Panther Party alongside Elridge Kleber and other Panthers. First recruit to join the Black Panther Party. He was involved in an ambush on Oakland police that wounded 2 officers, and Hutton was killed by the police under disputed circumstances. Kleber stated that Hutton was shot while surrendering with his hands up, while police stated he ignored commands and tried to flee. Kind of some of the same shit that you see today. Some of the same shit you see today. So I just wanted to plug in that important piece of history there. So let's get back to the video.
Panthers moved up because black communities knew and felt what Huey was saying, but Huey went out and did for the people what the people they wanted to do for the last 15, 20 years. He did to the pig what Roger would like to do. Nobody's saying that, hey, we're not saying go out and off the pig, go out and start shooting up pigs. You know, but this way Huey did it. If it comes to that, I'm sure that one of these brothers are capable of doing it. We're going to stop this shit one way or the other if we have to fight with guns. Before you can do that, got to be some discipline. I'm reacting to what you say you want to do. Okay, the first thing is discipline, man, before you can even control the pig, or you're off you, man. From here, you start out going into the community so the community know, man, what you're doing. Because see, if the pig off you, Roger, and you be going to funeral, man, you've been in a casket, and the people in the community don't even know you're dead. You got to have the community back.
I don't know, sometimes maybe y'all have seen me on some interviews, maybe I'll be doing some more. I speak on solutions to today's problems. And I said most recently in War Deer Entertainment's interview that unity is the solution. And this is my analysis for anybody who is interested in this analysis. The solution is to build rapport with your community, to build a community. You know, it's not easy, but it's a solution. We need to defeat that divide and conquer strategy, that divide and conquer technique. It's definitely fucking happening right now. You see how crazy people are online and online Twitter and even in person. Families are being ripped apart right now. Over something that is, it's ridiculous. So this is why I am showing a lot of this clip, and we need to learn from history. You know, they were able to achieve something here, and that's why. I'm a solutions guy. We can talk about the problems. We can finding the solution, talking about the problem. You're halfway. Once you write it down, the problem, you're halfway to the solution. And I see really unity as a solution. Shout out to everybody in the chats here. I'm gonna shout out Skibby 1848, Revolt, Keith Ward, Malik Clary. What up? Jose, War Deer. What up? Oz, how you doing? Shadowban Refugee, everybody who's watching, shout out to you. You see it first. You're seeing this live, and we are going to continue on with this video because there's so much more in this video.
The pigs, the police are protecting the landlords. If Roger run out with a Molotov cocktail to throw in one of these rat-infested buildings, they kill him. They kill him. Somebody answer why. Why the man come down on us like that? Why?
What you saying about this? What you saying about about protecting people, they're about protecting property.
Right. Right. You been to jail before, baby? You been to jail? Right on. So I'll tell you nothing but the pig.
You know, it's hilarious because just the other day I was watching, here I am on Twitter, and I'm just adding this now. I saw this happened like today. The police posted this, NYPD News, they posted, after receiving numerous larceny complaints in the Bronx, officers from the NYPD 44 precinct recently arrested 12 individuals following an enforcement initiative targeting shoplifters. The arrests made led to the closure of 23 warrants and the recovery of $1,800 worth of merchandise. Look at the merchandise. Pampers, baby products, Mucinex, Dayquil, lotion. They literally posted this and then they deleted it. Detergent. Huggies. Soap? And, you know, I saw this and I've been working on this Black Panther project. So I was like, police protect property, not people. Just like what Bob Lee just said and what the YPO can recognize as well.
Once you realize, man, that your house is funky with rats and roaches, you know, same way a black dude's house is, you know, once you realize that your brothers have been brutalized by the cops, the same way the west side and south side is, you know, once you realize, man, that you're getting inadequate, man, education in these high schools, the junior high schools over here, the same way the south side and the west side, you know, once you realize that you are paying taxes for the cops to whoop your ass, you're paying them. You're paying them, man, for to whoop your ass. You're paying them to come in to beat your children. You're paying them to run you off the corners. And you're paying them to kill you. And deal from there. The same thing is happening on the south side and the west side. And you can realize that concept of poverty, a revolution can begin.
So basically, I mean, with that first meeting, that was the first meeting that, with the community that Bob Lee had. And basically, you know, we can see why Bob Lee is working with the YPO. He sees that they're facing the same things that the black community is facing. He details how they're facing the same issues. You just heard it. And then, you know, he's trying to unite and radicalize this community to come together for a common cause. You know, this is powerful, man. This is fucking powerful. Shout out to everybody else. Fred Edward, how you doing? Steve Wolfbrandt, shout out to you, brother. Let's continue on. And so here, I'll just play it.
Now Wednesday, model cities is meeting, and they're going to put through some kind of program, and you know, we're all going to get run out of here eventually. Now I put a proposal together to people that want to be together, people listening to this stuff and digging it, and people that's got it in their hearts that want to be together. Be up here Wednesday. We go down and we stop that meeting.
All through the city, there's $38 million supposed to be split up to bring poor people out of poverty.
What the hell have they bought? What have they done? Not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing. That is right. In the richest country in the world, we should not have fucking 60,000 homeless in Los Angeles. Also the richest county, largest county, California, the 5th largest economy in the world. There should not be homeless people on the fucking streets. How hard is that, man? How hard is that? How hard is that? Not a damn thing. That's right. They didn't buy a damn thing.
These goddamn people that own businesses here in Uptown are sitting down and we can't sit on those consoles. We can't tell where the money ought to go. Damn it, we ought to go down there and stop them and piss on the money and do the neighborhood right. If we can't do it, they ought to do it.
Wednesday will be for confronting the model cities.
And you better be together because the pigs are in here right now and they know what we're going to do. You dig?
Contel Pro.
When you do it right or don't do it at all. We done something with trouble.
Yep, and now we're trying to get to the floor if we get over there.
Wow.
Look at that, man. Like, fucking everybody's there shaking his hand and everything. It's great. It's great. It's great. Who's got the balls to go into a community that you don't know? They're wearing Confederate flags. You know, you hear that they're trying to do working class, but the liberal left would cancel them immediately. Instead, maybe you are like, they're fighting for the same things. Let's see their explanation for the Confederate thing, but hey, maybe we can unite on working the same thing, on going against the same thing: police brutality, better housing, and free breakfast programs. Let's get them set up with the programs. This is why the Black Panthers are so fucking powerful, man. That's why the FBI fucking murdered Fred Hampton. So for context, real quick, because it's about to go into the next place, the next setting. Bob Lee and a couple other Panthers joined the YPO, the Young Patriots Organization, in disrupting Uptown City Council meeting. I've seen some disruptions of City Council meetings here in 2021, and it's very similar. It's kind of awesome to see this in 1968 and compared to today's disruptions. So the meeting was about, I believe it was about selling these buildings to developers so that new structures could be built, which would then kick out a lot of the poorer community in the area. So let's watch.
It takes time, and if you expect Uptown to change overnight, you've got a guess coming.
It's
and if you think this council...
for the poor, it's changing for the rich.
Right on! The motion now says that we will present the program that they have accepted.
We'll have our day.
Right on!
You're not using it for the poor.
The people in the audience will be heard when there's not a council member speaking.
I reserve my time. For a long time we have been coming here and we have been quite little children. Community people, they ask for citizen participation. I want to show you where citizen participation goes and how it's voted upon. Except those points are presented tonight, they're voted on, and not only voted on, we was going to just ask voted up or down, but passed. I'll guarantee you that this council will not be met with no more, and this council will not meet again, and there's 200 more citizens that's meeting at Threshold tomorrow night to see that it's ended.
Your remarks. Number one, the remarks are very much out of order. To do with citizen participation, which is a document which is not being considered tonight.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. That's what they're doing. It's pretty interesting. They're clapping. City Council can't even talk. There he is wearing the Confederate flag right there. YPO. Let's keep watching.
Is there any further discussion concerning this motion? All those of you in favor of voting, please raise your hand. If you wish to vote at this time, take your seat. Raise your hand.
It doesn't need it. It does not care. Because its failure to vote means it doesn't pass. Therefore, if you vote, it will pass it. But that means it's not needed. It is needed to pass it. It's not needed. It's only needed to pass it, but it's not needed to have it fail. If he doesn't vote, it fails, and therefore, if he votes, it's not necessary to pass it for you. As a matter of procedure, you're incorrect, Dick. So let's go in the room and talk about it.
This is history, Southern Town, everyone. What you doing? It's worse than any Southern Town ever was. It's worse. Let me tell you, it's worse, neighbor. We supported your goddamn businesses in Uptown.
All those in favor of adjournment, please raise your hand. Thank you. This meeting stands adjourned.
It's our meeting. The director said we could meet. All the people in sympathy with the people here, please sit down. If you wish to attend this meeting, please sit down.
So, I mean, key differences between today and back then in 1968 is that now there's police in every city council meeting. Now they're doing Zoom. That's a kind of another thing that the pandemic really highlighted, is that the separation from the plebs to the people that run shit, right? So those are some stark contrasts that we're seeing, and it's really interesting to see, man. It's really interesting. So the YPO, yeah, man, they really disrupted that meeting. Now they're having their own little meeting after. So let's watch this.
Somebody close the back doors. I feel a draft coming in. Before the cop comes in, there's a cop coming in here. Don't say nothing. Let Bob set it up with him, and then we're going to ask him to go back out again. This is a community relations sergeant. I want them to talk and get it over with real quick to set up a meeting.
He's coming in. Take it easy. How are you?
My name is Bob Lee,
Sergeant Kramer.
I'm working with the Committee on Police Brutality and Harassment. We, the United People, would like to arrange a meeting with the police department.
We already discussed that.
We want to really meet and discuss some things that happen in the community that you know are real and that people here can vouch for, that it has been happening. We're trying to build some rapport with the police district here.
Right.
Build some rapport with the people, if not with the officers on the street, at least with the officials inside the departments. Whereas maybe they can pass some sort of rules or policies to stop this wanton harassment, sir. So, like, I think that I'll ask Mr. Geary here to announce our next meeting, whatever night that would be, sir, and you can have one.
Well, have we found out when we're going to have this meeting?
Monday night, right here.
Right on.
We're going to show them how to have a real council meeting here. The first hour is with the pigs. The next hour is with the people. And the streets belong to the people and not the pigs. Remember that. I know that.
All right, so here's the next meeting. I like that line, huh? How you doing, everybody? I'm gonna shout out everybody real quick. Trez, how you doing? We need critical thinking on the 1, 2s, and 3s. Yes. Robert Del Greco, what's up? How you doing? Stephen Cleary, power to the people. That's what I'm talking about. Dan Emo. Hey, everybody, check out that pinned comment, pinned chat. Go to the True Rebel Network, please. I'm going to be doing some more work there. You can see some of my old work there. I have a work on election integrity I did in Los Angeles, and also some protests I covered on police brutality back in 2020 now. I can't believe it's back in 2020. It's like almost 2 years now. It's incredible, man. So let's continue watching this. So they got a meeting with the police. So the next part is that meeting. So let's see what happens.
And I know your reasons of why that you've been hollering and the things that you've been saying. And I talked to Sergeant Kramer the other day, and I talked to Commander Conley, and they both told me they wasn't aware of what was happening on Wilson Avenue. And so here tonight, we're here to make them aware of it. We want to have a good community, a good neighborhood, and furthermore, we intend to have a good neighborhood and a good community. Now, I'm going to turn the meeting over at this time to the chairman of the Police Brutality Committee, is what we call it. I would like to be able to drop the part brutality and let it become just the police committee, and hopefully something can be worked out here tonight. I give you the chairman of that committee, Mr. Bob Lee.
Personally, one thing happened to me Monday night as I walked in the streets, but that was the past. So I think Junebug right now can release some of the
Okay, with all the young...
All right, so before we continue that, he said he was stopped by the police. Actually, I was doing research on all this. So I found this article, and, Bob Lee died in 2017. R.I.P., rest in power, brother. But he got arrested, and this article talks about one of those arrests and the situation. So let's read it real quick. Through Bob Lee's persistence and patience, he was able to break through the anxious skepticism of the uptown whites by dedicating weeks to sharing meals and discussing strategy and tactics with YPO leaders and uptown families. A turning point was Lee's near arrest after a church meeting when North Carolina migrant and YPO Field Secretary Bill Preacherman Fesperman emptied the church to surround the police car and demand Lee's release, including those who moments before had hesitated to enter a relationship with the Black Panther Party. Police violence continued to be a point of convergence that made the Rainbow Coalition possible. So this is just some research I did. You know, it looks like it was another arrest than what he was talking about in this video we're watching. But I just wanted to bring it up so you can see how, you know, he was able to unite the poor working class with this police brutality issue. And then even more than that, as we saw earlier, that he was speaking on economics. And, you know, I saw inklings of this during the 2020, you know, summer BLM movement, you know, with some BLM supporters speaking on Duncan Lemp and other white Americans who were, you know, raided and shot dead in the same manner. You know, just recognition that this is a united effort among all walks of life to combat this shit from happening. You know, it's wrong that the police are doing that. You know, no knock warrants and shit. Supposedly it changed. It didn't change. It never changes. You know, so just a recognition can really spark a working class revolution. This is my analysis on revolutionary tactics, and we need to learn from history. And let's see. Let's go back to the video here.
Patriots, get up there and stand in the front.
All right, so all the Young Patriots are coming up.
About half of the group of guys that I'm working with in Uptown, and we like to say that we're not a gang, and we got a 4-point thing going. One thing we're for is better housing for people in the neighborhood. Another is stop of police harassment. Another is trying to end urban renewal from kicking people out of the neighborhood. And the fourth thing is to have better relations between people in the neighborhood who doesn't know each other. We're out to help the community, and it's the best way we know how. And that if our guys get arrested, we're going to try any way possible to stop it. I'd like to hear your comment.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to congratulate you on picking the...
Oh my God, this guy. All right, real quick. So you hear about what the YPO was about. So we finally hear about what the Young Patriots Organization was really about. They were about better housing and living conditions. Stop police brutality. Stop people getting kicked out of by new developments, I believe is what what he was saying there. And better community relations between communities that don't speak to each other normally. Now, so that's pretty awesome. Those are some that's pretty basic, awesome shit. They want a better community. I think most people want a better fucking community. I think most Americans want a better community today. Anyways, let's watch this guy. Let's watch this guy. He says, well, first of all, I just want to congratulate you on picking the title, The Young Patriots. And let's watch this.
The title, The Young Patriots. To me, that has a connotation of meaning patriotic. And I like those words. They're kind of unique these days. Now, there's nobody in this room that knows anything about being poor any more than I do, or anything more about your plight than I do. I ask you to keep your questions constructive. I ask you to keep the meeting orderly, and I assure you that something will come out of it.
A week ago today, 6 young men, along with myself, were walking down Broadway Street. We just left a meeting at Junebug's house. We were detained for 2 hours, I would say. 6 or 7 fellows walking down the street. So I'd like you to maybe define, like, is 6 guys on the street considered a gang, or at this time of night?
First of all, I will concede that police officers generally are a little prejudicial in regard to any citizen who perhaps doesn't dress or look like the way they think people should look. Now, I certainly appreciate your plight being a Negro, but it would be silly for me to stand here tonight and make excuses for my men or trying try to make you feel a little better by saying my men were wrong. It would be wrong both ways. We have to know some of the background. There may have been a robbery there an hour before, 15 minutes before. There may have been a crime wave before. There may have been burglaries. There may have been jackrolling, so many things. We're trying to better things. We're trying to bring out in the police officer, we're trying to teach him that everybody isn't like him. Sometimes things happen that I don't know about, but I will make it my business to know about them if you will bring it to my attention.
Yeah, so ain't this the same bullshit they be spewing out nowadays? I could totally see like Alex Villanueva, sheriff in L.A., he could saying these exact same things, and it's fucking ridiculous, man. And this was filmed in 1968. And it's the same shit happening today. They stopped 6 people and detained them for hours. They literally detained protesters for no reason and searched them back in summer of 20. And Glory Jones was in that mix. And I went over there and filmed that, and I was like, why are y'all detaining them, And they were just walking on the street, they were walking on the street, And they just went and detained them. So that same shit is still happening today. What is this? This is like fucking, we're like 30, 40 years later. We're 40 years later. We're 40 years later, and this shit's still happening. So let's keep going.
A question about a Red Squad. Every meeting that's been held in Thresholds Hall has been observed by the Red Squad and photographed because I've watched it. I want to know what the purpose of this is.
The Red Squad? They take your pictures just as these people are taking my picture here.
No, it's not quite that.
So, okay, real quick, just point of history here. Red Squads. Maybe you can tell by the name. But here's an explanation here by the cops. What was the Red Squad? The Red Squad was a unit within the Chicago Police Department known alternately as the Industrial Unit of the Intelligence Division or the Radical Squad. History of the Red Squad. The Red Squad had its roots in the Gilded Age when class conflict encouraged employers to ally themselves with Chicago's police against the city's increasingly politicized workforce. Following the Haymarket bombing, which I want to do a segment on, Captain Michael J. Shack orchestrated a victorious campaign against anarchism, resulting in 260 arrests, bribed witnesses, attacks on immigrants and labor activists, and convoluted theories of revolutionary conspiracy, continuing its use of both overt and covert tactics such as surveillance, infiltration, and intimidation. Chicago's Red Squad in the 1920s under Make Mills shifted its attention from anarchists to individuals and organizations who the Red Squad believed to be communist. Casting a wide net, the squad by 1960 had collected information on approximately 117,000 Chicagoans, 141,000 out of towners, and 14,000 organizations. Damn, there's that many organizations? After the 1968 Democratic National Convention, which y'all know about, Chicago is like so much history, man. The Red Squad expanded its targets from radical organizations like the Communist and Socialist Workers' Parties to minority and reform organizations, including the American Civil Liberties Union, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, the National Lawyers Guild, who are still rocking and rolling today, and Operation Push, which I don't even know about. But the Red Squad. The Red Squad is an intelligence unit within the police department to infiltrate and divide working class organizations, which is really interesting. So you can see that this is not new. This has been going on. We got to know. This is my analysis here. Revolutionaries should know their enemy, what they do. They should know history. So let's keep watching this video. We're almost done here.
Well, apparently it was, you saw it and other people have seen it. There are those units within the police department or any law enforcement unit that have as their function the investigating and looking into organizations that perhaps are a little on the suspect side or have revealed themselves in such a way as to be a little bit questionable.
Who defines that?
Perhaps we do.
Who defines that? Perhaps we do. Perhaps. That's some
Is
bullshit.
this the one, Bob? Is this the one the police officers took off of you? Now, this was a Nixon Agnew button that we didn't have money to buy a button, so we painted over. The Oriental people, the Spanish people, the white people, the black people, and the red people.
Policemen have taken these buttons off somebody in this room.
Yeah.
Who?
This young man.
Well, I can't see where that's right. That's completely wrong as far as I can see. Somebody that can come up and take a button off you for no reason whatsoever.
Well, what's the purpose of something like that be?
Well,
Can I say something? I'm only 16 years old, and they threw me up against the wall and slapped me a couple times, even in the cop station.
for what, son?
For what? I don't know. They come in my friend's house, they drag me to the police station. 2 detectives take me out the hall and try to make me say things that I ain't. And slap me because I won't say that I ain't something. And then you expect me to come and tell y'all, you're going to have a squad car watching me 24 hours a day? Because when they say that I say something to y'all about them knocking the hell out of me, then they say they're going to kill me. Can you have a squad car watching me 24 hours a day to make sure that they don't harm me? I've had them in the police station. In the police station, take me in the back room and bang my damn head against the wall. Say, let me see how tall you are, and then crack my head like that.
What did you do, son?
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. Just being in a friend's house. And they come in and take me to the station.
Don't mean no matter what you do, an officer's not supposed to hit.
They say they're going to kill me if I tell anything. They say they're going to kill me. They even tell me in the police station, if I catch you outside, I'm going to kill you, boy. And I can't walk down the street.
For what reason did they bring you in?
There's no reason. I'm sitting in a friend's house.
Well, I just want the complete story. What was done, if it was done, was wrong. Nothing was done, but I want the complete story from you.
Yes, sir, I'll
not
tell you.
just what happened, not just what we did wrong. I want to know what you did wrong that precipitated this. That's all.
All right.
Doesn't matter what he did wrong.
I'll tell you what I did.
Story. He's not telling the complete
All right,
story.
I'll tell the complete story.
It's wrong, and I concede it, it's wrong. But why doesn't he tell the complete story?
Let me talk, will you?
The complete story.
I was in a homosexual's house, watching his TV set, waiting for his cousin to come back. His cousin's 17 years old. Happens to be a friend of mine. He's a homosexual. They come in and they try to make me say that I'm a fan, you know.
All right, if you'll stay after, I will register your complaint, and you'll find out that it'll be investigated, and you'll be treated properly.
If anyone here is harassed by any police.
So it's kind of interesting how this video ties in all these different issues together. Even the LGBTQ issue, you know, cops harassing people for being friends with LGBTQ, which this YPO community member was. And I feel like that even still exists today, though perhaps not as blatantly, right? So that's kind of interesting how this one video, this one video is bringing in, you got working class collaboration across colors and also LGBTQ issue. You know, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of really interesting. So let's keep watching.
Police officer, you know, we will, you know, be sure to take his badge number down, his car number, and we will see this man. You know, we will see this man. And then I like to know if we come to you with, you know, a badge number, a car number, and you find this officer to have really harassed one of the people here, like what would happen to him?
Now let's wait and see.
Well, we're sending you complaints that we get from the neighborhood weekly.
Any harassment of the Young Patriots to our political organization, you are taking on personal responsibility to see that it doesn't happen.
Of course, I have to. This is my responsibility. In the past, the poor neighborhoods have been exploited by persons persons who have been less than American. There's so many of these anti-American, pink, even red organizations.
You know, I really resent the statement that you said that there might be some red or this kind of thing, because I personally think that I'm as better, or at least as good as an American as you are, and I think that if there's anyone here in this audience who is not an American, I think you should point this out. I think the purpose of this meeting was to, in fact, accentuate that positive part that here we are, Americans, red, black, yellow, white, with one goal in mind, to build a society. And this is why I regret you bringing up that fact that there might be some red taint here.
Ooh, the Red Scare. The Red Scare, man. That was really strong here. And, today it still is. People have been propagandized. At the end of the day, communists are pushing for reforms that will help everybody out. And as an American, we are not our government. We're completely separate from our government. And we have the right to criticize our government. That's the whole point of the First Amendment, the freedom of speech. And, this guy, he was right. He's more American by exercising his First Amendment right to discuss how to better the working class people in the richest and most powerful nation in the world than the police actively suppressing and surveilling those who do criticize the government. So, I just find that interesting, so there's communism, there's and the Black Panthers did talk about communism. Fred Hampton did talk about communism. It's really interesting.
I said the potential in a poor neighborhood is disproportionate than any other neighborhood for people being exploited by these types of people. How could I possibly say anybody in this room has any other feature than complete, pure-blooded American? How could I say it? I don't know a person in this room.
Yeah. I'm a member of the Young Patriots, and I'm not going to run out a long line of particular harassments that have been thrown up against people, but just use one to clear up a point you made, which is probably the strongest point we've been talking about tonight. And that is, I've been in the house of Southern white people, and I've heard policemen, pardon me ladies, throw them up against the wall and say, "You fucking hillbillies, what you got on you?" and this kind of thing. And all I want to say is, when you talk about tolerance, we're not tolerating this. We're angry. 100 years ago, this flag, which I wear on my cap, represents the Confederate States of America. We was beat down. And we beat down people for 100 years, and we know what it's like to beat down people. We beat down people hard. We all getting ourselves together. We're angry about it, because we're all beaten down today. And we're going to be out on the streets, and we'll be helping you if you want our help. And it's not the matter, we communists, we this or that and the other.
Look at the police officer shaking his head as soon as he used the word communist. This is interesting, right? The Confederate flag wearing, talking about the Confederate flag, what it means to him, working with the Black Panthers working with them. This is incredible. This is crazy.
We're just folks who are trying to get things straight in our community. Is that clear?
So you see, so why did the YPO work? So now we can answer that question. Why did the YPO work with the Black Panthers? And it's because the Panthers were helping them get things straight in their communities. You can hear it here. They just want to have a good community. That's what they wanted. You saw at the beginning of this video when Bob Lee introduced himself to them, and it's all about bettering your community, no matter the symbols or initial hesitation you might have for working with people who might not look like you. And it's that's what this video speaks to me from my analysis. It's powerful stuff. So this is the last part. Context. They're about to go into another setting. This is where they have a wrap-up meeting after meeting with that community relations officer.
Does anybody here believe what they had to say?
They asked me what did I think of the police officers now. I think they were just feeding us a bunch of shit tonight to keep anything getting started, man.
You tried your best, man. But you're about the community, and you're not gonna let them stop you.
Hey, Bob, we can't let this happen because they're gonna let us just go down, man, like we was a long time ago, where they can start this shit up again, but we'll have to go through it again. We'll keep on going through it. We ain't never gonna get nothing done.
There's one thing we gotta do. We gotta get out. We gotta reach a lot of people, man, because if we don't, we're gonna get picked off easy. So we're gonna get picked off quick. And we gotta get people to back us up and show them that they're backing us up so they get off our backs.
That's right. They don't want us to build ourselves up like the Panthers did. Because they're afraid if people's going to keep building themselves up, that we're all going to get together and we're going to get done what we want done.
These 200 buttons here, well, Panthers will start wearing them now. See?
They're going to try to prevent this every way they can by acting like our friends. That pig almost had me convinced tonight, man. He did. I started even believing this shit.
See, that's his job.
I know that.
That was his job.
I know
One of
that.
the most important things that he was worried about him now, because that was one stage we went through tonight. Talk with him. Now the whole thing now is community. Get in touch with everybody in his community. Put pamphlets in the stores, even hand one to a police officer on the corner.
Anything to get them in.
But what if it don't happen? What are we going to do? We're going to fight them or what? I mean, what
We're jerking the community in, man. The community's going to fight. We're going to be part of the community.
I mean, how are we going to fight it? Guns?
Don't get hung up on that now.
They ain't going to stop cracking our heads, man.
It's 1,000 people up here, Jack.
We'll get it sooner or later, man.
Later?
When you
Later, I'm going to be dead. I don't think
You laying in your
grave.
You lay in your grave and other people can still be fighting. You ain't got shit, I man. might lay into my grave, but I feel good to know that I fought for my fucking land. I ain't gonna be, you know why? Because I'm gonna say, motherfucker, I'm gonna fight for that shit.
So that's basically the end there. The video continues on. We basically watched the whole thing, but it continues on with kind of a different conversation after that meeting that the filmmakers filmed. So shout out to the filmmakers who filmed this, put this together. Chicago Film Archive, and I'm not sure which filmmaking group it was, but I have the link in the description if you want to watch the whole thing. Of course, here I have it captioned, so it's easier to understand. So we pretty much watched the whole thing. It was pretty interesting, huh? So why did I bring this up today? Well, I'm kind of seeing online the entitled, the re-theory left. They often bash people for talking to those who don't align completely 100% with them. Independent media figures like us, the Combo Couch, like Jimmy Dore, even Joe Rogan, Kim Iverson, so many more. They all they talk to people who don't 100% completely align with their beliefs, and not just us. It could be locally. And you could be talking to a Trump supporter and stuff like that. So, and all we're doing is having a conversation and seeing what certain people have to say. And I'm really tired of this canceling bullshit. This whole Joe Rogan attack. It's kind of fizzled down a little bit. But we've seen it with Jimmy Dore too. When he talked to Magnus, the Boogaloo boy, and these people are missing the point of talking and conversing to people who think differently than you. The whole point is to have a conversation and see what you agree on, and if anything, on anything, and then give the audience the chance to see that hey, we aren't all that different. I mean, I disagree. You can say I disagree on that, but I agree on that. Of course, no one is advocating to change your political view after you speak with someone, and most people don't. I mean, except for Tucker Carlson, when, Jimmy Dore changed his mind on Julian Assange, which was incredible. And that's why these conversations are so important, and that's huge. And, we're just talking, and talking can lead to alliances, like you saw here in this video. So the other thing also, in addition to the bashing of people to talking to people who might be different than you. The other thing I was also seeing was that some contingent of the Twitter left was smearing the truck protesters in Canada, labeling them along with Canadian mainstream media and even Trudeau as racist, white supremacists, and right-wingers. Instead of, realizing that was patently false. You can go and watch the live streams on the ground there. There's a lot. Just look up Live Canada, Ottawa, and you'll find the live streams, and you'll see that 99.99% of people did not have any symbolism of that sort, of any Nazi symbols or anything like that. They took a couple pictures and fucking just blew it up. Only focused on that, and they should have recognized that the truckers' protest. They should have recognized it for what it actually was. It was a working class people struggle to maintain their freedoms /rights. And I don't want to get into it. We're on YouTube. But just know that these truckers were anti-mandate, and that's what you can see on the live streams on the ground, that they repeat, we're anti-mandate. Of course, there's signs there that point skepticism towards the vaccine. The CDC says that the vaccine is safe and effective. But these Canadians, I wish I could have gone, because I would have interviewed them. I would have asked some really interesting questions, like, they're all benefiting from universal health care in Canada, or, they have basically a good health care there in Canada. And, there's so many other socialist policies that they're benefiting from. And I guarantee you that they still want that. And I would ask, like, oh, hey, so I would ask so many truckers, like, hey, do you think Americans should have universal health care like you do in Canada? And see what they say. I feel like, they're benefiting from it. So they would say, yeah, they should have it. And so that's not right wing, So I wish I could go. The point of me bringing these two things up, the talking to other people and the truckers, is that there are parallels to see here. The ability to discuss to a community different than yours and effectuate change, the ability to go beyond what may be portrayed by the media and propagandists as an evil or bad organization, right wing, or I'm sure like the media back then in the day portrayed the Black Panthers as radical people. They probably portrayed them as terrorists, like fucking the what was it? I don't know if it was the city council woman today or a couple of days ago in Canada, in Ottawa, that literally called the truckers terrorists. The ability to go beyond that portrayal and talk to people like the YPO community, like the Young Patriots did in this video, because you saw that they were hesitant at first, and then they went and talked to the Black Panthers. And got some help. So you saw it, they were hesitant at first, and it was documented in various other writings, in that article I showed you, that they were, the hesitancy was real. And just like it is today, but we need to overcome that. In my analysis, I believe that if you're a revolutionary, revolutionaries succeed in overcoming that hesitancy to take things at face value, and they succeed in uniting on common goals. And that's basically the segment for today. I'm going to shout out the chat. Gamer for Life, how you doing? Charlie Brown's Rebellion, how you doing? Misha, how you doing? I know. War Deer, shout out to you again. Kikabello, how you doing? Soul Construct. Stephanie Ramirez, how you doing? Vic Padilla. I'm going to see if anyone's on True Rebel Network chat here. That was all Convo Couch chat. We're seeing True Rebel Network chat. A dingo ate my baby. Arif Hassan, Liberia. What was Liberia? I have to deal with it. Robert Del Greco, how you doing? Now we have the Patriot Act, which allows the government to treat citizens as terrorists. Yep, and they're already using that to attack political opposition. It's just getting worse and worse, man. So, Panther Power. Got the Black Panther Power here. How you doing? So, there's things to learn from here. I don't know. I always talk about solutions, and the big one I see is to unite when they want to divide and conquer you. And it's what they've been doing is working. I mean, they're tearing apart families now. It's never been so divided. Trump was a good division. Not a good division, but it was a good division tactic used by the cabal of people that run shit, World Economic Forum. And so, that's pretty much this whole segment, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any other questions, let me know. You go to my channel in the description. It's there. You can support through Patreon and PayPal. I am going to be doing some more work on True Rebel Network. I am hoping to get on the ground everywhere, so if you can support me there. I'd like to go to Canada. I might go to Minneapolis because they're supposed to be coming out with the trials there. There's a couple trials going on there. I might be doing some work here on the ground again, and I will be going live on True Rebel Network So you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss that live on the ground footage. We do it right. But thank you so much for tuning in. Kipper Copper, how you doing? Charlie Brown's Rebellion. Thank you. It really means a lot. I really appreciate you all listening, and I hope you learned something today, and I hope I did a decent enough job for you. I worked very hard on this. So thank you so much, and everybody have a good day. Have a good night.